Hello and welcome to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Master Quest. You're watching Playing with Fyra, and I'm Fyra. I've got a new intro. Do you guys like it? Yes, that's how you pronounce my name. Probably. It's the Final Fantasy spell. There's been a debate on how it's pronounced basically since the game came out. But anyway, this is my first big Let's Play back from my big break. The Crimson Room series was a really nice way to ease my way back into making videos, and I'm really excited to get going on something bigger. I know I've been away from a long time. That might have been away longer than when I got really sick that one time. I haven't been sick. I've just been really busy, basically between studying and work and looking for a job. Things just got to be too much, and a lot of things that weren't, necessary in the moment kind of had to fall away. It wasn't just videos. But I've got my job, I have my master's degree, I have all my licensing exams, everything is done, and it's certainly going to get busy again once the school year starts, but for now, I've got some time. So let's get into the game that I'm going to play. I'm going to be playing, of course, the Ocarina of Time, classic 3D Zelda game. Zelda is one of my personal favorite series, specifically 3D Zelda. Never really cared for 2D Zelda, although Ocarina of Time isn't really my game. I have played it a few times, but I started with the GameCube and just sort of went from there. But fun fact, I have never played Master Quest. Despite the fact that I got this game as a kid and had it for a very long time and played through the regular Ocarina of Time a few times, I never actually jumped into the Master Quest. Master Quest is sort of a more difficult version of the Ocarina of Time. It's different from Master Quest on the 3DS remake in that the entire world is mirrored and you take extra damage. That's not true for the original GameCube Master Quest. All that's different here is the dungeons are changed, but from what I've heard, they can get pretty nasty. I haven't seen any of the dungeons, I've never been into any of them. I have a quick file on there that I did just to do a tech, make sure everything works, but I stopped before going into the first dungeon. I have been warned about one puzzle in one dungeon, and I'm frankly glad that I was, because I was never going to figure it out. But all my babbling aside, let's just jump right in, shall we? This is, of course, going to be a 100% Let's Play, because that's what I do. Oof. Now that is a loading screen. I don't think I've ever seen quite that color of purple in a loading screen before. And here's the classic title screen. I'll let this play out. I suspect most people don't just watch it anymore. Yep, and that's what we're playing. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. I've heard that this game can be kind of hard to find these days. I guess it's one of those things where when you pick something up and you have it as a kid and you buy it, you never know how much value it's going to have later. My mom just bought this for me because she knew I liked Zelda. Now, if you've watched games on my channel before, you know how I operate. This is going to be a slow, meandering playthrough of this game. I'm going to be showing off as much dialogue as possible, as many areas as possible. It's not going to be fast. And it's, at some points it might not make a whole lot of sense. So if you're here for a speed run, this is not what you're looking for. Although I do hope you'll stay anyway. Something about these old Nintendo 64 graphics just really spark my nostalgia. Even though I didn't have an N64, this style of sort of I don't even know how to describe it, kind of blocky, pixely stuff. Sure, we can watch the demo, why not? But that sort of style was also common in a lot of PC games at the time. And it just brings me back. Alright, that's enough of that. That's gonna be a spoiler. Not that I'm sure a lot of people watching haven't seen this game before, but just in case. That's my test file. I'm boring. I always name Link Link. I know some people like to name them crazy names or name them after themselves. This is just how I do things. It's always how I've done things. It's how I'm going to do it now. So let's start a nice, fresh file. in the vast, deep forest of Hyrule. Long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. Navi, Navi, where art thou? Come hither. Oh, Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier, deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But, before this tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly! The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee. Could we argue that maybe Navi's the main character? This is probably common knowledge, but Navi gets her name from the word navigator, so. In fact, GPSs in Japan today are still called navigators, or they're still called Navis, excuse me, which is short for navigation. As I was saying before, something about this sequence just stirs something in me. It can be really hard to go back to this kind of thing if you're used to modern graphics, but I'd argue that this game holds up even then, even with the sort of primitive graphics. It's not sloppy. Hello, Link! Wake up! The Great Deku Tree wants to talk to you! Link, get up! Hey, come on! Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? Boy after my own heart. Iconic voice for Link here. You finally woke up. I'm Navi the fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going right now. And now we're in control. This is Link's house, where I don't think there's ever really anything to do in here, but iconic. I promise I won't call everything that, but, you know, this image is pretty much just burned into video game history. Here's the Kokiri Forest, and here is where I remind you that I'm the one playing this game, and we're gonna be here for a while, because we have to talk to everybody. Yahoo! Hi, Link! This is Saria. I don't know if this is in the manual or what, but you're supposed to figure out that these guys are good friends. And here, I think that's probably Link fighting off a Dodongo or something. There's no manual camera control in this game. Link's house. You can center the camera with the L button, but there is no way to control the camera. Luckily, the automatic camera control tends to be pretty decent. There's nothing back there, I was just checking. But, yeah. It is what it is. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, Link. Wow, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri, Link. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you? It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. Do you have anything else to say? Nope. Careful when pressing the B button with text. Oh, also, here's Navi. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you. Please come with me. Navi's known for being annoying. I think she gets a bad rap. I don't particularly mind Navi at all. But I understand why it's annoying, because, oops, it's meant to keep you on track, but if you take too long to do your objective, she'll come in and, like, basically tell you to do it. But you don't have, well, I was gonna say, you don't have to engage with it, and you don't. But you do have to listen to her saying, hey! You can grab and throw rocks. They will occasionally have something in them. This really isn't that important throughout the game. They kind of made a bigger deal about it than it needs to be. But as a kid, and I know I wasn't the only one, if you played this game as a kid, you did it too, everybody has to throw all of these rocks. You gotta get all of them. Because you gotta know what's inside of them, right? So, I will, in fact, be throwing all of them. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk about with, like, what's happened so far in the game. I don't think so. I can explain a little bit of how the controls are different than other Zelda games. I'm used to some of the games that came later, particularly Wind Waker. A big difference there is that to do targeting, not only is the button changed, but if you hold down the target button, this game auto-targets. So I'll explain a little bit more of what that's like when we get to it. A by the stone, pick it up. A by the stone, pick it up. Mean old Mido. He made me pick up the rocks in front of his house. I mean, you don't have to do it. The house of the great Mido, boss of the Kokiri. If you come in here, you get chests. You get a green rupee. That's 1 rupee. You get a little bit of money in here. 5 rupees. Just, you know, to get you started. 5 more rupees. Not bad, not bad. And this should be a recovery heart. Yep, your life energy is recovered. Can I walk up here? Probably. Yep. That's just fun. A lot of this game is atmospheric and just sort of fun, or there to be cute. And of course the rocks all came back. But, yeah, Z-targeting is, or not, see, there's me calling it Z-targeting. Auto-targeting is a little bit different. You gotta be careful with the B button when you're reading text because it actually acts like the A button, but it can scroll it quickly. You're not allowed to leave the forest. The Great Deku Tree said that if a Kokiri leaves the woods, he or she will die. It's probably true. Forest folk shall not leave these woods. I guess, to be fair, we never really find out if that's true. That's just what we find out, what we've heard. Oh, a fairy finally came to you. Now you have a lot to learn. The best place to go to learn some new skills is in the Forest Training Center. It's on the hill just above here. And indeed we shall be going there. But of course we're going to be taking a stop in every single house that we pass by. House of the Know-It-All Brothers. I did warn you, I'm talking to everybody. I can teach you about the icons at the top of the screen. Let's hear about the yellow icons. And like I was saying with the B button, there's no option here to just say no, so you might press B thinking that it'll take you out, but it just acts like the A button and chooses that option. That becomes important in a couple places. The 3 yellow icons in the upper right are called C icons. They display the things you can use with the left, down, and right C buttons. Once you get a C item, go into the Select Item subscreen and set it to one of the 3 Cs. What else you gotta say? The green icon at the top of the screen is called the Action icon. The Action icon shows you what action you will perform when you press A. Stop in many spots to see the different things that you can do. I don't think this is why it's called A, but I like to think of A as the action button. Do you want to know how to use the up C? Sure. If you use up C, you can change your view. In a place like this, it will switch to a top-down view. Outdoors, in a field for example, it will switch to a first-person perspective. Also, when Navi is displayed in the upper right of your screen, Navi the fairy wants to talk to you. Use up to listen to her. I'll try to get all of Navi's tips if I can, but I'm probably just not going to notice a lot of them. If you want to learn about the map and items, just ask me. But don't ask unless you want to hear a long explanation. What do you want to know about? And they actually do let you back out of this. There's a map displayed at the bottom right of the screen. The yellow arrow shows your current position and direction you are facing. The red mark shows where you entered the area from. You can turn the map display on and off with the control pad. If you want to see the name of a place, press Start. You'll get into the subscreens. Select the map subscreen. On the map subscreen, you can see a map of Hyrule. Did you get all that? I did. I did know that already, but to be perfectly honest, I've never actually talked to these guys before. I'm curious, even though it's, not all that exciting. There are 3 kinds of items: equipment items, sea items, and quest items. Equipment items are things like the sword, shield, and clothes that are effective when you equip them. Sea items can be set to and used with left, down, and right C. Quest items are things you collect during your adventure. You just carry them around. If you want to change equipment or just check on your inventory, press Start. You will get into the subscreens. Switch to one of the 4 different subscreens with L or R and change or check items as you please. Take a look around. When you decide to equip an equipment item, press A. For C items, use left, down, or right C. That was a pretty long explanation. Did you understand everything? Yeah, well, at least I didn't have to be the one to explain it. And of course, as is a Zelda tradition, you can destroy any and all pots. And you should, because they often have things in them. There's the top-down perspective. I never use this. I find it more disorienting than anything, but there it is, just in case somebody likes it. And of course, you can go into first-person perspective. Again, not a thing I use very often. Although, from some of the things I've heard about Master Quest, I might need to make use of it. Forest Training Center. Don't recklessly cut signs. Read them carefully. Before we do this, I actually want to go talk to Mido, because I think his dialogue might change based on what you have. Well, I know it does. I just don't know when it does. That meanie Mido made me cut the grass at Saria's house. Mido told Saria he would do it so she would like him. But I'm the one doing all the work. You and Saria are close friends, so will you help me cut the grass? I'll let you keep anything that you find while cutting it. I'd love to, but we are incapable of doing that right now. And this is, in fact, Saria's house. Does Mido really think that Saria isn't going to notice that that guy is the one chopping down the grass? There's recovery hearts in here. I'll leave them just in case they become useful. I kind of doubt we'll be back for them, but no reason to pick them up if we don't need them. And of course, you can go on top of Saria's house. As a kid, I know now, especially if you've played this game before, it's really not all that exciting doing this, but as a kid, especially a kid who was growing up in a time where 3D games were new, this was mind-blowing. You came all the way up here? You're a real man. Look, isn't this view pretty? Change your viewpoint with up C so you can look around the forest with the control stick. Yeah, this was fun as a kid. The Kokiri Forest was really a very nice big playground. And I would like to think that a kid picking this up today would still have that reaction. Did we talk to you yet? Yes. Oh no, we didn't. There's a different person. Hold on, I'll see if I can read that again. Sometimes the B button will speed up text, sometimes it won't. I wonder if it will now that we've seen that already. No, I guess not. Oh, she's not going to say it again. She basically just said congratulations on getting a fairy. You can slow it down and read it. I wonder if the Great Deku Tree gave life to everything in the forest. I mean, in addition to us Kokiri. So it seems like, at the very least, the prevailing wisdom is that the Deku Tree is the source of all life, or at least life here. He said the source of all life. There may be, other outside sources that can confirm or deny that. Ooh, we didn't... darn it. Stepping stones in the pond. If you boldly go in the direction you want to jump, you will leap automatically. If you hop around on the stones, you'll become happier. You're supposed to get rupees for doing that, but I guess because I missed the first one, it didn't count. Hi, Link, look this way. Look over here with L and talk to me with A. Yes, yes, that's how you use a fairy. It's so great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using your fairy. When a fairy flies near a person or thing, press L to look in that direction. If you use L targeting, you can talk to people from a distance, like we're doing now. When you have nothing that you can target, you can press L just to look forward. Try it. Yeah, so here's what I mean by the targeting being automatic. If I press the button and let go, it still targets it, whereas in future Zelda games you have to keep it held down. And that does trip me up quite a bit sometimes. I'm sure I'll get used to it as I go. Anyway, over here is the Great Mido. Hey you, Mr. No Fairy, what's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to get to help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and shield ready? What? You're right, I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Sheesh! Well, he's cocky about it, but he is right. We are going to need a sword and a shield if we're going to do anything that the Great Deku Tree actually wants. Have we been here? House of Twins. I don't think we have. For a starting area in the N64 era, they actually did a pretty good job of making this place seem alive and full of things. A big complaint that this game gets is that a lot of it is empty space, and like, I get it, but well, that'll be more relevant later. My sister took some rupees and went shopping at the store that has a red roof. Teehee. Speaking of rupees, a green one is worth 1, a blue one is worth 5, and a red one is worth 20. There's even more than that, but we'll see that later. I don't know for sure, because I'm not really up on my 2D Zelda lore, but this, I know the rupee colors are standardized for all the 3D games, and I know they used to be different, particularly in Zelda 1. There's the rupees. I want to say red was 1, or something like that. The colors were different. I don't know exactly when that change took place. Here's the shop. We have something that we want. First of all, that does not respawn, by the way. This shop, it sells things you can get in the forest for free. Do you know how to use the Deku Shield? When you get the shield, press Start to get into the subscreens. Select the equipment subscreen with L or R. On the equipment subscreen, choose the item you want to equip and press A to equip that item. Once you equip it, hold it up with R and change its angle with the control stick. She's right, a lot of this stuff you can get for free in the forest. But you can't get this, at least not easily. I don't think you can get it in there. You got a Deku Shield. Switch to the equipment subscreen and select the shield. Press A to equip it. Press R to crouch and defend. If you press R while L targeting, you can move while defending. We don't need to buy anything else. Let's put that shield on. Here's the subscreens. This is the map. Quest items. Equipment. And C items, which we don't have any of yet, but we will soon. Very soon. Alright, what else is there to get up to in here? This is a hole. You see a small mound of soft soil here. We can't do anything with that yet, but we will be coming back for that later. There's going to be a lot of those on the ground that we'll be seeing, and we won't be able to do anything with them for quite a while. This is the twins' house, right? Yeah, that's the twins. Alright, well, we've dallied long enough. It's time to go get a sword. And the only place left that we haven't explored is the... Well, that's not true. There's a whole area over there, but we'll come back for that later. We have to go to the training grounds, or whatever it was called. Forest Training Center. That's right. We were in here, right? Yes, we were very much in there. Anything over here? This is not a game that I know front to back, like some other Zelda games, so I might be exploring a little bit. Trying to jog my memory. I have finished it. I think 100%ed it, but it was a while ago. I am not above using guides for Zelda. In fact, that's almost one of my favorite parts, is following along with the guides. Thrust attack signs. Oh, we don't even have a sword yet. We can come back to this later. These rocks can't be picked up. They're just there to train your targeting. And that's the other thing about targeting. You can't disengage unless you walk far enough away. Hey, let's work on some moves. To jump sideways while L targeting, press A as you move right or left. To do a backflip while L targeting, press A as you move backwards. To do a roll attack while L targeting, press A as you move forwards. While you roll, you can avoid damage. If you have your sword ready while L targeting, you can do a jump attack by pressing A. A jump attack does double damage. You can use L targeting on the stone next to me, so let's practice. For whatever reason, this is something that stands out to me the most when I was a kid. I just remember this a lot, is getting trained by this guy. I know I didn't have an N64 as a kid, but I did go to hotels sometimes, and hotels used to have video games. I played this one quite a bit. Switch targeting. If you see a triangle icon above an object, you can target it with L. In other words, if you press L when you see triangle above an object, you can lock onto it. If you press L again, the lock will either release or it will transfer to the next object with the triangle above it. When you have many enemies in your field of view and you want to escape, press L while holding back on the control stick to cancel targeting. You can target the stones next to this sign for practice. You just had, well, it says you have to be holding back, but I don't know. I can't get it to work. I have to be far away. Hole of L. Let's go through this small hole. Stand in front of the hole and push control stick towards it. When the action icon shows enter, press A to crawl into the hole. Pay attention to what the action icon says. I suspect that's a holdover from the N64 version. This was a GameCube re-release, so obviously they needed to change the buttons, but I think they missed that one. Alright, here we are in this little area. Let's just wait well, now we can probably safely do this. Viewpoint with L targeting. When you have no object to look at, you can just look forward with L. Stop moving and then change the direction you're facing, or hold down L for a little while. This can help you get oriented in the direction you want to face. It's quite convenient. If you hold down L, you can walk sideways while facing straight ahead. Walking sideways can be a very important technique in dungeon corridors. Turn around and try doing this right now. Yep, and then you can see that... Oh, you got a little flash of it before. I think the developers intended... That was 5 rupees, by the way. You can see there is a boulder that will come and chase you. This definitely got me as a kid. That was a little jump scare back in the day. Visit the house of the Know-It-All Brothers to get answers to all your item-related questions. We got our first big chest. That classic Zelda chest jingle. We got the Kokiri sword. On the equipment subscreen, select it with the cursor and equip it with A. It's a very pretty little sword. This is a hidden treasure of the Kokiri, but you can borrow it for a while. Be sure to practice with it before you really fight. Yeah, about that. Oh, shoot, I was a little bit too close there. But yeah, we're not gonna be returning the sword. Oh well. Anyway, we have to equip it. Unlike in other future Zelda games where you just automatically get it. Whoa. So now that we've got our sword and shield, we can go talk to the Great Mido, and he should let us through. Let's go. I think... Oh, we also had those the signs that we could read. Now, Link, get off of those. Now that we've got our sword, before we go see Mido, let's play around with the sword a little bit. You can, of course, cut the grass. It has stuff in it sometimes. Sometimes... Oh, oops. Oh, well. That's how you chop down a sword. We'll be zoning out and coming back plenty of times. So, can I not finish chopping this down? There we go. So, we'll come back for that one. Thrust attack signs. To thrust with your sword, tilt control stick towards your target while L targeting, then use B. I think these signs are here to help you practice that. Oh, they give you money if you do it right. I don't think I actually knew that. Handy. So aside from that big area up there, which we will be coming for later when we have another item that's going to be useful. You can go in there at any time, by the way. There's stuff in there. It's just, there's not really anything for us to do right now. Let's go see Mido. And show him we're all equipped now. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Eh, what's that? Oh, you have a Deku shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri sword? Good grief. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the great Mido, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot, how did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree, huh? We're gonna have to see what's back there next time, though. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. And hopefully I'll see you in the next episode where we go through this little corridor, see the Great Deku Tree, and do our first dungeon. Bye-bye!